I am officially going on tour for the first time. This is kind of exciting. It's not a massive tour, so all right, hear me out. It's not like 30 days or anything, or 2 months or anything like that. It's a short run. We're gonna go for like a week and a half to 2 weeks, but we are traveling quite a bit. I have everything packed up that I need, which is kind of cool. That's kind of everything I've ever brought to any kind of show I've ever been to at any time. So that's fun. This is gonna be wild. I started working with Take the Flame in 2024, I think it was. They did their album release, their first show, not album release, but they did their first show ever. And when I showed up that night, I was actually there just to surprise a friend, my buddy Richard from Pull the Curtain. I saw Chris get on stage with the rest of the band at last, and it was an amazing set, actually. It was shocking. Instantly, like, went to go look for him. They had almost nothing on Spotify. I reached out to Chris. I was like, hey man, like, I actually went with a camera that night and just filmed some random shit and was like, hey, if you got some audio, I can dub over it. Like, and I could tell he was a bit hesitant at first. He was like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't really know. But then he ends up hitting me up later on and was like, hey dude, do you still have those video clips? Like, could we put a reel together? And I was like, yeah, sure. I got you. So I made this like the most makeshift, like every effect possible reel you could imagine, or I sent it to him rather, and then shared it online or whatever. And it was like it was kind of like a first into me putting reels together. I was using a Sony FX30. Lo and behold, years later, like after so many shows, I've shot pretty much every single one of their shows. It was only one that I missed. That was one in New York, and I couldn't make that one anyway. There was something, I don't remember what, but I couldn't make it regardless. So now here we are in October. It is now May, actually April right now, actually. But in October, Chris asked, hey, are you able to like do tours? Like, would you want to go on a tour? And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go. I never thought that this was where I would find myself. I initially picked up a camera to take photographs of like some of the bands I used to listen to back in high school, and was like, hey, let's, give this a shot. But, it's interesting how much you can push yourself to continue going, continue growing. You work through the burnout. You work through all the negatives that happen in your life. Friends will appear out of nowhere. People will appear out of nowhere. And next thing you know, they'll help you out. And you don't realize it. So a lot of times you might burn some bridges along the way without, realizing what they can do for you. And I've done that. It's happened a few times. And now here we are, week and a half on the road. Should be fun. So real quick, I know I've got some camera nerds and gearheads. So here's what we got going on. Packed in my bag, I've got two Nikon Z6 Mark IIIs. I have a Nikon F5. So those are my main cameras that I'll be using. I gotta like look down to see what I got. I have a 35 1.4 and a 50 1.4, both Z mount lenses. I have the 50 1.8 G for the F5, and I have the 20mm 1.8, which I'll use on both the Z and the G and the F5 with an adapter. I've got an array of like accessories, so like the extra batteries, battery charger, memory card readers. I've got the Rode Wireless Mic Pro system that I'm bringing with me for like the standard, Instagram content stuff for like vertical recording or whatever. I've got a drone that I'm bringing. It's nothing crazy. It's a mini, but my friend Alexis gave it to me. So thank you. Love you for that. We're going to put it to use. Maybe. We'll see. Various cables like XLRs and stuff. I have an H4E, which I can hook up to boards to record live sound. So if anything cool or fun happens throughout the show, or if there's any kind of audio and stuff that I want to make sure that I record outside of my standard microphone, I have it. And if I want to sync any of the songs together and just do one live thing, I can do that. And I have two flashes. I have my Godox V480. I think it's a smaller touchscreen flash. And then I have, interestingly enough, I have this. This was the coolest thing ever. I bumped into Hunt's photo. Well, I didn't bump. I actually drove up there, but I saw this in a use case at Hunt's Photo, and it's the actual flash made specifically for my Nikon F5. It works perfect for it. TTL. However, I'm not sure if I'm liking, yeah, it's blurry, whatever. I'm not sure if I'm liking how that's attached because that's kind of like small and there's not much to it. Is this why like the makeup people go like this? This is why the makeup people do this. I'm gonna do the influencer thing. Is this how this brow? I give up. Anyway, yeah, so this is super cool. It's an SB50DX, so it's made for the older cameras, which is pretty awesome. So I have that with me for the F5. Because this is a smaller show run, a lot of the lighting in some of these places may not be the greatest, so it is going to be a necessity that I bring a flash. I know a lot of people will say, oh, don't do that, but I don't care what you say. The band cares. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'm packing it all into this vault case, which really doesn't take up much space at all. Actually, it's probably the width and height of their IEM, or sorry, the width and depth of their IEM system, and maybe like a third of its size in height. So it really doesn't take up much space. But everything I need is going to be in there. And then I'll have my MacBook with me. I'll have an iPad, which I have connected to the internet. So when it comes to merch sales, it's connected to internet. I don't need Wi-Fi. We don't need cell phones. I have a dedicated POS on there. So that's super awesome. Other than that, the various other cables. And then, you know, a couple of pairs of clothes. Not like a whole suitcase worth of shit because, like, you know, I'm not as important as the band. So, like, I don't need that much space. Just, you know, some clothes, like shirts, obviously underwear, socks, all that fun stuff. So yeah, this is going to be the first time I go out. So I'm going to try and post as much as I can while I'm out, since I'll have the time to do so. I stated in my last video, I do work a retail job. So I do have to focus on that. So now that I'm on the road, I'm not working a full-time job or my retail job throughout that time frame. I can focus on putting out stuff for the band mainly, but throughout that time, I can make, towards the end of the day, I can make little videos like this to post, and kind of little vlogs and what cool stuff that the band does and what I do while I'm out and how I'm shooting things and whatnot. So that's going to wrap up this video. I got to leave like now.